Hey, what's happening today? I'm Coach Ryan Fanley and I am out here in the VIPAR pit. Today I want to talk about one of the biggest secrets to muscle building that you probably haven't taken the time to focus on. And that secret is eccentric training. When we talk about eccentric training, we're talking about the lowering portion of the lift, when the weight is going towards the floor, when the load, when you're resisting gravity on the way down. Not a lot of people focus on that part of the lift, and they're leaving their gains on the table for muscle gains as well as overall joint health. Eccentrics are awesome for building muscle, they're awesome for rehabilitation, they're awesome for building kind of a strength reserve or a strength deficit, they're great for tendon strengthening. So all of these things should be important to everyone that wants to lift weights. Yet when I travel the world and I go to gyms across the world, I see people that don't focus on the eccentric contraction. There's a couple ways, there's a couple different levels to eccentric training. The first and most basic is merely eccentric accentuated training. Now I'm going to be going over all of these methods over the next couple of weeks, or different ways that I incorporate them into the programs, starting with the least intense, and then we'll work up to eventually some very, very intense eccentric training methods. Again, first time, this is week one, this is base level stuff, just basic eccentric accentuated training. So what that means is, if you are doing a set of 8 to 10 reps, you lift normally, you lift explosively and powerfully, and then you simply lower under control for a given amount of time. Now, one of my mentors, Charles Pollock, would like to use tempos, where he would prescribe an actual duration of time for how long each phase of the exercise should be completed. So on that example, an eccentric tempo, 4 to 6 seconds on an eccentric tempo is typically a good place to start if you're doing sets in muscle building rep ranges, like 8 to 12 repetitions. Any shorter than that, you're not really emphasizing the eccentric that much. Any longer than that, and likely you would have to drop your weights way too much to actually derive any benefit. So that 4 to 6 second eccentric contraction on a set of 8 to 12 reps is kind of the sweet spot, in my humble opinion. Let's take a look at what this looks like. So we got fat barbell curls here. If I'm doing a curl, I would lift the weight explosively and then down in 6 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then into the next rep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now what's unique about eccentric contractions is, depending on what research you look at, it only recruits between half to 2/3 of the muscle fibers that you normally recruit during concentric exercise, but it recruits them twice as hard. So you can actually lower more weight eccentrically than you can lift. So we can use that tool to our advantage, and we'll get into that in later weeks. But for right now, if you have been stuck in your muscle gain progress, you haven't made good progress, and you've never focused on your eccentric, spend some time taking 4 to 6 seconds to lower the weight. First couple weeks, be prepared to be humbled. When you remove momentum and you slow things down, your weights are going to take a little bit of a dip. But as you get better and better at utilizing this type of training, your weight should climb back up to what your normal, what you were using when you were using a faster repetition speed, if that makes sense. I am Coach Ryan Fanley from the VIPAR Pit. Stay tuned for future phases of this eccentric secrets. But honestly, the word secret is such a clickbaity title. I hate it. But truthfully, if you've not been doing it, it's going to make tremendous, tremendous progress in your muscle gain, in your joint health, your tendon health, and your maximal strength. So it truly is very, very powerful if you've never used it before. I'm Coach Ryan Fanley from the VIPAR Pit. If you like this video, please hit subscribe below. I'll catch you next time.